Are you still looking for waiver wire help ahead of week 11 of the 2022 fantasy football season? Well, then you're in luck. You've come to the right place. My name is Herms, on Twitter at HermsNFL, and this is another edition of the Lateral Show!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Lateral Show. Fasten your seatbelts, because here we go.
Welcome back to another edition of the Lateral Show, a sideways look at fantasy football and the best fantasy football podcast without any check marks of any kind. My name is Herms. This is a preview of the Week 11 waiver wire for the 2022 fantasy football season. I'm going over everybody that I talk about in the free portion of my waiver article that comes out every single week at fantasysixpack.net. But if you want my whole list of players, everybody that I talk about, it's itemized by position, quarterback, running back, the whole thing. You have to get behind the paywall. I'm sorry. I can't just give this information away for free. So you have to go to fantasysixpack.net/plans to get an all-access pass to the remainder of my waiver wire article, on top of all of the DFS tools that our website has to offer, the award-winning rankings that we have to offer, right? I mean, come on, who doesn't love award-winning rankings? Definitely better than rankings that haven't won awards. And also access to our Discord community full of AMA sessions, any sort of, help or advice that you might need. It will really enhance your fantasy football experience. So those are just four things. There's more things than just those four things that you get with an all-access pass to fantasysixpack.net. So go to that URL, fire it up on your computer or whatever, bing, and then you'll do the thing, and then everybody's happy. Also, if you have never been to the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube channel before, go ahead and see. There's like a rectangle on your screen. Subscribe. So click the button, and then boom, you're subscribed. Oh, congratulations! Anytime there's a new video uploaded to the channel, you get a little ding, ding, ding from YouTube. Oh, notification! More Fantasy Six Pack content. Whoa! It's a good thing to have. It's a good thing to have in your back pocket. Also, if you see a thumbs up that kind of looks like this somewhere on the video screen there that you have, go ahead and click that as well. We'd really appreciate it. Now, without further ado and me kind of just rambling about a bunch of stuff that I have to say at the beginning of every episode, why don't we just talk about some of these players, okay? There's so many interesting things out on the waiver wire right now. But before I get into that, I want to briefly mention what my thought process is for the waiver wire as we get closer to the fantasy football playoffs. Now, I'm not writing any of this from the perspective of somebody who's only attempting to reach an audience of people who are already going to make the fantasy football playoffs. That is not my intent. If you still need some high upside, shoot for the moon type players, I would recommend, Christian Watson, the rookie receiver from the Green Bay Packers, is an option that you could definitely look for. He had a great game on Sunday. Maybe he could, fill the shoes of Marquez Valdes-Scantling, from last year. Maybe that could be fun. But I look for chasing safety. I look for chasing floor, and I look for just rounding out your bench with as much insurance as you possibly can. It's why in the waiver wire article last week behind the paywall, and also in the last full-length edition of the Lateral Show on this YouTube channel, I talked about rostering multiple quarterbacks if you've been streaming all year, or rostering multiple DSTs if you've been streaming all year. Your purpose of your bench is different now. So I am going to recommend different types of players than maybe I would earlier in the year, because these high upside, maybe their role is going to continue to grow type players are few and far between. At this point, barring injury, a lot of players don't have immediate opportunity in front of them unless something happens to somebody else, just generally speaking. So I'm talking about players that I think have a safe floor that could provide solid depth, and especially if a player in your starting lineup went down, you'd be able to fill them right in with something that is not quite the same, but definitely a hell of a lot better than the risk of a zero in your lineup. And the player that kind of headlines this whole thing for me, thank you for indulging me, by the way, is Rachaad White, the rookie running back from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, a lot of his production came late in the Sunday game over in Munich, Germany, because Leonard Fournette left with a hip pointer, if I remember correctly. But look, Rachaad White has been involved in the Bucs passing game pretty much all year, and from week 4 through 9, he was the RB34 overall in PPR scoring. I don't know what's going to happen after the Bucs bye week this week when it comes to Fournette or anything like that. So, like, there's no guarantee that Rachaad White's going to just become the starter or anything. But if nothing else, he provides a fairly consistent floor that I think people can rely on. And he's been featured in this video at different times in the past before. So, I mean, it's not like it's a name we're all unfamiliar with. So, that could be something that you could look at. But if you're looking for more immediate help because Rachaad White's going to be on a bye week, you could take a look at Jaylen Warren of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, coming off of their bye week and that surprise win against the Saints, it's not like we could watch that game and be like, oh, all the Steelers' offensive problems are gone. They fixed everything. Like, no, it's still a less than stellar team, especially talking from the perspective of a fan like me. It's not all rainbows and butterflies, but Jaylen Warren added 12 touches on Sunday. They got him into the mix like they were talking about doing over the bye week, and he was pretty good with that opportunity. So if he can end up with double-digit touches on a weekly basis in, running in tandem with Najee Harris, like, I think it could be pretty valuable as like a flex consideration on a week-to-week basis. And we've definitely seen at times, like, Warren is very efficient on the touches that he does get. Maybe that's, fresh leg syndrome or what have you, but like, it's true. He's pretty good. He's pretty explosive. And that's a name that I would definitely keep an eye on. But the meat of this that I'm really excited about is the Kansas City Chiefs backfield. Now, mind you, on Sunday against Jacksonville, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, woo, 4 snaps, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, not great. A lot of the work went to rookie Isiah Pacheco and the veteran Jerrick McKinnon. Now, Pacheco has, come in and, done mop-up duty at the ends of, a few games this season. He's a little inconsistent, but, like, he's slowly working his way into a regular role in the Chiefs offense. So, like, if you're looking for a bit of a gamble, like, he could be fun. But the guy I'm really excited about is Jerrick McKinnon. He now has back-to-back games of 6 receptions, and he has not fallen outside of the top 40 in PPR since week 4 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a guy that's producing fairly consistently. And I don't know, man, like, it's difficult for us to, look at somebody like a McKinnon in that offense and say, like, yeah, that's a guy I really want for fantasy, because, he's not, there's Travis Kelce to worry about getting the ball to. There's Juju Smith-Schuster. Let's hope his concussion issues are going well, by the way. Fingers crossed for him. We got to get him the ball. We got to get Kadarius Toney the ball. All these. McKinnon's kind of an afterthought, but in the grand scheme of the pecking order, he seems to slot in fairly regularly. So I don't think that's anything that we can necessarily overlook. McKinnon has a fairly consistent role, and I think he could be a valuable piece for you on your fantasy team. And to close, we go with an all-time lateral favorite, wide receiver Donovan Peoples-Jones of the Cleveland Browns, a.k.a. the Peoples-Jones. He is the Jones of the people. He is everything that we all look for and aspire to be in our everyday lives. This man is basically just locked in for somewhere between, like 10 to 12 PPR points on a weekly basis, pretty much, so it seems. From week 4 through 9, like, headed into Sunday's action, my man, the Peoples-Jones, wide receiver 39 overall in PPR, okay? Like, it was pretty cool. And Sunday's loss to the Miami Dolphins saw the Peoples-Jones log 5 receptions for 99 yards, okay? His best performance of the year. Think about how well he's been doing lately, and then add on to the fact that, not passing any judgment. I'm not saying anything about the human being Deshaun Watson, but as far as the quarterback, the on-field athlete of Deshaun Watson, he's coming back soon, and he's definitely going to be an upgrade for Peoples-Jones over Jacoby Brissett. So I'm starting to get pretty excited about the Peoples-Jones as a fantasy option, and he should definitely be on your team as we head toward the fantasy football playoffs. Those are all the guys that I have mentioned in the free portion of the article. If you want to get more names and more information, you have to sign up for an all-access pass at fantasysixpack.net/plans. Gets you all the things I mentioned before, the rest of my article, DFS tools, award-winning rankings, access to the Discord community, everything. It's all there. That'll do it. That's the video, folks. That's the podcast if you're listening to it instead. And, I hope that everything works out. I hope that you spend your fab dollars wisely, and I hope that you get all the claims that you need. Until next time, my name is Herms, on Twitter at HermsNFL, and this has been The Lateral Show!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Lateral Show. Fasten your seatbelts, because here we go.